Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back once again to Final Fantasy II. Today we're going to be starting Soul of Rebirth. We're going to be loading up the file that we cleared there, where Maria died at the end. That's okay. We still destroyed the Emperor. Man, the Emperor is probably the easiest final boss in any Final Fantasy game that I can think of. And when I say final boss, I don't mean stupid things like the bug thing at the end of Final Fantasy X. So anyway, we appear to be in the Jade Passage, except everything's flip-flopped. This is a mirrored version of the Jade Passage. So that right there, you may not recognize him, is Scott. Although right now that's supposed to be a secret. I think Scott should not have been in the party. I think Cid should have taken Scott's position in the party. Cid is a knight. Was a knight of... Let's see. He was a knight of... and you actually got to know him over the course of the thing. His ghost even appears in the finale there. Scott was there for 10 seconds, died, and, you know. But, c'est la vie. This battle right here counts as a boss battle for some strange reason. Let's see, what do we want to do here? This Black Knight here, if you get really exceptionally lucky, will drop a Sunblade, which is really, really, really good for Scott, because it is basically the most powerful weapon that's obtainable other than it's the second most powerful weapon that is obtainable for Scott in this little short. This is actually really short. But don't count on getting the Sunblade there. I've gotten it once. So, Minwu's in the front row there, so I cast Blink on everybody. And we're going to try and teleport these guys away. I am not using Scott's MP because until we get through... the cave part of this dungeon the first time, MP is going to be a major resource. We don't have any potions. They start you with some items, thankfully. You can actually teleport this guy away. Teleport the sergeant's away too. But they start you with 10 ethers and 5 phoenix downs, and you have to make them last. If you go in here and just start shooting off your magic left and right, you're going to run out of MP, and you're going to end up in a position where you're screwed. So, we don't want that. We don't want that at all, actually. There we go. Although he was probably pretty close to dead anyway. I'm going to make use of teleport sometimes during this trip. But generally speaking, still not going to rely on it. Okay, they haven't hit Scott once. So let me see. Is there anything I want to do? Let's just attack. Let me save the rest of my MP there. The sergeants don't have too much hit points. I think, what? A few hundred? 400? 420, I think. But this will give Minwu a chance to work on his shield. ability. We're going to shield and maces, because we are going to want to level those up a little bit, particularly because Minwu is probably not going to be double shielding, particularly because he gets a weapon that gives him massive boost to his stats, and I still want him to have... That was not too... That was not too bad at all. That's the second time I've won that Sunblade. The second time. So, the fact that I won that Rune Axe, the fact that I won this Sunblade, means that this is going to be the luckiest run of Final Fantasy Soul of Rebirth I've ever had. I guess that kind of balances off the fact that I had a fairly unlucky run of the base game, at least in terms of stats. Let me put my headset on. I was going to leave it off, but I really like the music in this game, so... I don't know, something about the music in this game is vaguely, like... Well, I don't know. I guess not. I'm not even going to finish that sentence. You're just going to have to wonder and be in suspense for the rest of your life as to what I was going to actually say. But when we get through this dungeon here, there's a town, and the structure of this game is there's this dungeon. You start at the top of it. You got to work your way down. When you get out of here, instead of going to the next dungeon like you would in the final dungeon from going from Jade to Pandemonium, you actually go to a town in between the two of them. So, the town is run by Cid. I think Scott should have taken Cid's role in the story here, and Cid should have been the fourth playable character. I will never not say that. Oh, we're in Jade, huh? Not quite. But anyway, Minwu is the main character in this, and Scott joins our party. Alright, so Scott comes with a lot of HP and MP. His stats, my understanding is, I've only ever seen him have what you see there, 30, 30, 30, 30, 35, and 30. But I think that I read somewhere, and I don't know if this is true, because I've never really paid attention, but I read that if Gordon has higher stats than him, I'm going to use Scott's MP to heal first, because Minwu will be useful actually in battle. But since I won that Sunblade, that's going to come in handy. Super handy. Alright. Get that evasion up there. That elixir is going to come in handy. Alright. Death Horns have 400 hit points. And they are weak to fire, but because I have the Sunblade, I can probably just destroy everything in here with my melee attacks with Scott. So we're just going to do that. If I can get a hold of a second shield, I might go ahead and have Minwu dual wield shields, because I want his evasion to be 99%. is the gist of it. Alright, and there's an ether up here. If I remember correct. Alright, more death horns. Let's go ahead and cast Blink and just melee these guys down. Death horns are rank 3 enemies. They're not particularly dangerous, as you saw earlier. Yep, we're just going to do this. Because I won that Sunblade, it has changed up everything I was going to do. So we want to go over here and get this ether. That's only the second time I've ever won that. And one time, I restarted the intro sequence there 15 times. Because what happened was I was doing a test run of Solar Rebirth, and I just randomly won the Sunblade. And then I got into a fight with... There's an enemy called Glacia Labilis. They're these giants, and they hit really, 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 really hard. And... well, I died. So I lost my... and I didn't save, so I lost my Sunblade. Not too bad. So my end of game goals are about what I was hoping for at the end of the other game. I want my frontline fighters to have about 1,000 hit points, and I want my backline fighters to have about 750. That is not as... even though this is a really short... like... just relatively short. You just have basically the... you just go through the final dungeon of the game. Again, and it's reversed and slightly palette swapped. It's relatively easy, actually, to get that, because everybody that you get in your party here has pretty high stamina. Giga Swarms are rank 4 enemies and have 300 hit points. I'm not particularly I'm not as worried about me. I need to save my game, actually. Yep, that's what I was hoping for. Alright. I do want to stay up to full hit points here. We also want to save the game. So we're going to save over this one. Yep. So we're in the unknown cave, and we're going to kind of go down this way. I'm going to rotate probably between these two slots here. That was more for my benefit than yours. Keep that in my head. Borgin is an ugly SOB. Being dead did not agree with him. Of course, I don't imagine being dead agrees with anybody. Unless you're like one of those sparkly, supernaturally handsome vampires. So now we have Joseph in the party. And we want to... He's undead, so let's just... Honestly, that Sun Sword is supposed to do extra damage to undead, I do believe. Sunblade. Stop. Borgin doesn't have that much in the way of hit points. If I didn't have the Sunblade, I would use fire spells on him, so... Nice. Nice, nice. Let me readjust my microphone here. It's a little too close to my face. The passage to hell, huh? There's that assumption again. If this were actually the passage to hell, there'd be better equipment in these chests. Alright. Thief's gloves. Now, who do I want to put these on? What are your... You have 93. You have 69. Let's take this silver cuirass off and put these Thief's gloves on and see if I can't get you in the 90s. 80s? It's good enough, I think. Unfortunately, Joseph is kind of... Joseph is the weak link in the front row. So... That's mostly because of his HP. He'll catch up as he takes damage. I'd appreciate it if you'd stop that. Come on, Scott. Damn it. Well, this is not good. Thankfully, I saved. But I think we're fine now. Yeah, you have to be really careful in Soul of Rebirth. Oh, man. I should have taught Life and Cure to Joseph, but I can teach it to him when we get to town. It's not that big a deal. Can't believe I won that Sunblade. That is a major, major find. In fact, it's so good that I probably shouldn't use it. But I'm going to use it. You can't stop me. You can't stop me. These guys suck. Remember how I told you MP was super, super, super important? Well, these guys drain MP with their attacks. Thankfully, they don't have a lot of hit points. They only have like 80 hit points. But to preserve my MP there. Nice. Okay. Maybe I should put... No, I'm not going to put Minwu in the front row. Let's do that. In this chest here, we get an ancient sword. That'll come in handy, hopefully. And that's a monster closet. So let's just get the heck out of here. Thankfully, I haven't run into any of those Glacia Labulus. Because that would be awful.